Hello everybody, welcome to Appalachian Trail Talk. This is leg number 19. This was around the 27th of June 2016, and this sadly is the last leg for 2016 before I had to get off for some medical reasons. This encompasses day 117 if you want to go back and watch those videos for the through hike for last year to kind of see what it was like. I made some comments that the Shenandoah National Park is a great section hike, and honestly, instead of starting out at Harper's Ferry heading northbound, if you're a flip-flopper, you might want to consider starting at the southern end of the park and using that as a good warm-up. The downside is that the waysides won't be open that early, so you won't be able to get some meals and some extra resupplies. So you'll have to carry a little more food. And in fact, that is the probably the quintessential decision people have to make if they're going to rely upon the restaurants and the campgrounds for their resupply. Because of my slower pace, I was kind of warned away from trying to do that. Most people say you only need to take about 2 days worth of food. I would say for me at my slower pace, I needed 3. And even then, you're going to spend some money because it's quite expensive. And we'll hit that here as we go through that. So I think, as I alluded to last time, Waynesboro, I had gone to urgent care. They wanted me to take 2 weeks off the trail. I only took 1. That was probably a bad decision on my part. What they had diagnosed for me was a fissure in my rectal area. I know that's a little too much information for people. My wife will probably kill me for putting that out there. It turned out to be a misdiagnosis anyway, but that's what they had told me. Don't know how I had gotten it, but it was just quite painful. And they gave me some suppositories, which are probably really designed for hemorrhoids, which I don't think I had, to try and give me some relief. And I was trying to use those at this point as I was hiking. Because I didn't want to quit. I'm a military guy. You know, you have a mission. You got to finish your mission. So anyway, really enjoyable hike that day. When you come out of the park, you do have to have a permit, and there is a kiosk, so you don't have to worry about going to the little check-in point where the cars go. Just get on the Appalachian Trail, head north. Eventually, you'll come across. You go past the entrance station. There'll be a self-registration. Okay. For your overnight camping permits, and they'll be along the trail. All right, so you don't have to really worry about going to the entrance station to get that, and they're already pre-signed there in that box. If you're coming southbound, the cabin with hostel there in Front Royal, they had a whole bunch of them that you could use, or there's another kiosk once you enter into the park where you can get your permit, and you put them on the back of your pack. The one time I did come across the ranger in Shenandoah, had been raining that day. I had my pack cover on, so my permit wasn't exposed. And I asked her if she wanted to see it. She said no. So they're pretty cool in the Shenandoah with the hikers. Okay, not quite like the Smokies. All right, this was a really beautiful hike that day. Climbed up, got to some observation towers. You're constantly coming back and forth across the Skyline Drive, and every time you do this, there's an opportunity to maybe sometimes throw some trash away, get a good view of the landscape from the little pullouts and things like that, and these little parking areas. As towards the afternoon, as I got here towards this Calf Mountain Shelter, now it is 0.3 west of the trail. The water is 0.2 west, so you'll come to it before you get there. There was quite a few tenting spots, but they were kind of built up flat areas. I'd gone back to my hammock, and it started raining pretty good through here. So I was pretty soaked by the time I got there, and when I did, the shelter was already full. I just kind of hung out under the overhang, waiting for the hardest of the rain to stop, and then I went out and put my rain fly up and then put my hammock up underneath, which is kind of a benefit of having a hammock. Let's see. That night, headed back and headed out. Don't remember a whole lot other than just a lot of good hiking. Some of the smoother trails I'd experienced on the AT were through here. Yes, you can actually make up some pretty good time hiking through this part of the Shenandoahs if you've already got your trail legs established. So once again, had a pretty good hike through here, and then let's see, I think the next, and you can see that the terrain elevation here is not bad at all. I mean, you're kind of ridgeline walking, and you're going to cross down between gaps and then come back up again. Okay, and got to Black Rock Hut, and then that next day had some really pretty views. I'm going to show you a picture of the of what I think is the Black Rock summit, as well as a view from the trail out towards the valley. And there's two pictures here I'm going to show you. Okay, and crossing through that big boulder field, it was kind of nice because he actually made a path through there for us, unlike when you get into New York and they just expect you to climb over all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so really pretty drive, really pretty walk through here this day, really nice. And there's the first time you can go and do a little resupply here is at this Loft Mountain Camp store. You can actually camp in the campground if you want. You know, there's some rules about where you can camp. They kind of want you to camp in established campsites, but they do have provisions for that if you can't do that. And I'll go over that here in a minute, because you can see I camped here at this Fraser Discovery Trailhead. Okay, just past the Loft Mountain Wayside. In the park, they use these cement signposts, and I'll show you this one. It'll have a tag on a little band around it that is for the camp store, and I'll let you see what that looks like. Okay, sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this is what some of the benefits you have of having the AWOL guide, because here you're coming in from the south, past this parking area. You're going to come back around, and here's the first trail to the amphitheater. Then there's another trail that goes into the camping area. Okay, here's another trail into the campground, and then here is another trail to the campground and up to the camp store. And it actually told you, if you remember here in this one, if you get that thing to focus, let's see. So if you're going to go camping, you're going to go there. Okay, and if you want to go to the camp store, you're going to go here. Okay, and that's that signpost that I showed you is for that last turnoff. And so this is what's very helpful about that. The Loft Mountain Wayside, it kind of gives you some ideas when it's open. Okay, all right, April the 8th. So if, I started April the 1st, so most of the camp. I started April the 1st in 2017, halfway through the Shenandoah, so all these were closed then. Some people have questions about, well, what are the rules in the Shenandoah National Park? Well, this is in 2016. Okay, this is information that talks about, okay, that backcountry permits are required. Okay, there's no charge for them. There's still a registration. Okay, if you have any questions, there's a way to contact it. They tell you about the 4-inch by 4-inch signposts. Okay. The shelters are called huts in the park, all right? You only can stay there 14 days, okay? 14 consecutive nights, okay? No more than 2 at any location. But if you need to camp not in a established area, you just need to be 20 yards from the trail, a quarter mile from any park facility, okay? 10 yards from any other water source, 50 yards from other camping parties, okay? And don't camp where it says no camping. Well, when you get within a quarter mile of a park facility, there's actually going to be a sign there that says no camping for the next half mile, okay? Because it's going to be a quarter mile on one side and a quarter mile on the other side, okay? So there's actually signs that are going to tell you no camping from here further northbound, okay? And so it actually does a good job of keeping you out of trouble, okay? Pretty much, pets must be leased, campfire only in structured fire rings, okay? At the huts. So if you're not at a hut, don't go be lighting a fire. You're going to get yourself in trouble. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. So after I got done with the Loft Mountain, and I went in there, and you can take a shower there. I didn't. I got some food. Not really so much of a resupply as they had some snack items. I got a bunch of snack items and a big hoagie, and went out and found myself heading down the trail a little bit further. And see, I didn't want to go up to this wayside because that's a mile round trip commitment, I guess, you know. So I didn't feel like doing that. So I had my hoagie, and I went and found this place. As I got here, there was a pretty much an established old camping area. They had some old fire rings there and a great place to hammock. And I was up on top of a beautiful view to the west, and I'll show you my hammock facility there. Okay, I said hammock facility, I meant hammock setup. All right, let's see. So I kind of stealth camped there, but not so much because people kept coming by and talking to me and waving at me, so I wasn't really that stealthy, just not in a hut area. From there, the next day I did see the turnoff, and I was glad I went ahead and just went to the camp store since it was almost right on the trail there. And coming past Pine Hut, Weaver Mountain once again. These are all these are very, very nice. Not too bad a climbs. You know, less than 500 feet each. And let's see here. All right. Spent the next high here at this hilltop hut, and then let's see, down to here, the Swift Run Gap. This is probably the first time you can probably get out of the park if you need to. Okay, to actually get out of the park. I think there's also a way to get passes if you come in here. Okay, and let's see, as we continue to climb in this area, let's see, actually right before the hut, you see we cross over the 900-mile mark, and I came across a blaze that I thought was pretty neat that I took a picture of the first time and the only time I saw one like this. And then I'll show you a picture of the 900-mile point, which unlike the other times I actually have the number spelled out, this is just next to a tree with a really pretty view of I think Powell Gap Hollow. Okay, now as we continue the hike here, once again, these climbs are not bad. I think on this long climb here is where I had my first bear encounter, because I think some people had parked here and were hiking down. I've kind of met them, some day hikers. So I think right in this area was my bear encounter, and I have different videos on that. I think day 120 is the full day where you have that. I think I did another separate video recently on handling bears and bear encounters. I'll just throw a picture in here of the bear that I came across. Okay, so after the bear encounter, I came to the Lewis Mountain campground and cabins, and this is an opportunity to go in and do some laundry and take a shower, and if you need to, do a resupply. And if I remember, I didn't do much of a resupply, but I definitely wanted to do some laundry and get a shower because it'd been a little while. So I did. So I took the side trail, which used to be the old AT. So I took the side trail into the campground area and went to the camp store there and took a shower. It's a 3-minute shower. First minute, the water spent getting warm, so you got to be pretty efficient. Did a load of laundry and kind of ate supper there, and probably just bought some snacks if I remember right, and then took off and went to this bare fence mountain hut for the night. The next day, let's see, it was the day that I decided that, hey, I hadn't had a chance to go to a wayside yet and actually have a meal. And this one wasn't too far off the track, so I took the 0.25 trail up to the road and then hiked the 0.2 to the lodge there, and actually went to the wayside and had a meal. And I took a video of this. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a photograph, but this is something you need to understand. This is not, if you're going to eat your way through the park, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, okay? The cheese, I had a cheeseburger, some chili cheese fries, they forgot to put the chili on, a little tiny salad, a Mountain Dew, and a blackberry shake, and that was $22 plus a $2 tip. Okay, so that was not a cheap lunch. And after, of course, I got done eating that, I could have completely redone the whole thing again because I was that hungry. Okay, but $22 was just a little bit pricey. So something to consider if you're thinking about, you know, hiking through the park and eating at all the waysides for your meals. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. So just something to consider. That night I stayed here down at the Rock Spring Hut, and I was kind of on the little side of a hill on my hammock because all of the campsites, the trees were too far apart. So I had to kind of go off of a campsite and kind of into definitely a non-flat area, which of course always makes it hard on your gear that wants to keep sliding down the hill in the middle of the night. It did rain that night. This night, in this hut down here, there's actually a cabin which can be rented by the Potomac Trail Club. That's a really nice cabin with a big, nice porch on it, a big fire pit. It's kind of neat. They actually had some people that were down there. I was kind of envious of it. But anyway, and of course you can see here there's a restriction of camping above 3,600 feet. Okay, and that's because you're coming up to the Skyland Resort here. Anyway, this night I could not eat my supper because of the gnats, and so this is the first time. So I've carried my Sea to Summit little bug net, which doesn't weigh anything, for what, 120 days now, and I finally get a chance to wear it, and here I am. Okay, up to this point, you know, my hiking has been pretty miserable. It was kind of very misty this next day, and kind of up in the clouds, and the rocks were really wet from the humidity. The hammock wasn't working real well for me because I didn't have an underquilt, and I was just really suffering from cold, believe it or not, even though it's the end of June. And even though you're totally sweating, it was still that air coming underneath there, that convective event that just really made things really, really cold. Anyway, I came up here, Skyland. I had already called it down, and I was going to come down. I was going to hit the Bird's Nest, and then I was going to hit the road and go into Luray the next day for the 4th of July. And I already made that call, and she was going to come pick me up. And I had that reservation down at the Open Arms hostel in Luray. Open Arms on the edge of town, I think is the correct name for it. Really nice place, by the way. And anyway, I got here. I took the trail down. I went down and had lunch. And once again, I think I had a salad, a corn chowder soup, a blackberry milkshake, and a Mountain Dew, and it was $26 plus a tip. Okay, so not a cheap place. This also happens to be where my wife and I spent our honeymoon back in 1980. Yeah, 1980. Long time ago. Anyway, so that's where we stayed for our honeymoon. And so I got down there. Somewhere in here, I had slipped and felt like I had torn something internally in my abdomen. I've been having a lot of problems with pain, some bleeding. I got on the phone, talked to my doctor, and he told me I needed to come home. So I called up the hostel and asked them if they could come pick me up, paid them a little bit extra to come out of the park to get me, and got a ride back. And then a couple of days later, my daughter came up to Luray and took me back. What the doctor didn't tell me until I got back was, based upon all the symptoms, he was afraid I had colon cancer. And so they went and did a colonoscopy and took a look. And fortunately, I did not have any colon cancer, but I did have some colitis that had started up. And they suspected it was from probably some E. coli bacteria that had gotten somewhere along the trail. I'm thinking down in Irwin, Tennessee, since it's been about that long that I've been suffering. But because I didn't get it taken care of, this is a lesson learned foot stomp, because I didn't get it taken care of, and just gutted it out and dealt with it, it got worse and worse, and then it ended up taking me off the trail. Had I dealt with it initially, okay, and taken the time that I needed to get well, it probably wouldn't have been an issue, and I could have finished the trail. So that was my lesson learned. Okay, everybody, I'm going to end here with a picture of some berries. You know, some blackberries are now starting to form. I've got a picture of me on some rocks that they say was where they filmed The Last of the Mohicans. And then kind of a view from the Shenandoah, from the trails there in the Shenandoahs. And okay, until next time, we'll start with, I'll call it leg number 20, but it'll start in April of 2017.